Dan, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time.
No problem at all.
I'm really excited to hear about your entrepreneurial journey and how you have gone about being a member of EO Brisbane.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to share.
Thanks. All right, so tell me, why did you start your business?
So we started, there was a gap in the market where a lot of companies were wanting to source products overseas. They didn't really know where to go, how to find the right supplier. Of course, getting quality right's a big issue when people are dealing with countries like China and all of that, or across Asia. Just trying to find the right factories and manage that whole process from sourcing the product, doing the actual production, quality control, freight logistics. It can be a bit of a nightmare, and getting it right is where we saw a gap. And over the years, it built up a network to cater for that.
Sure. All right, so tell me a bit more about that first entrepreneurial journey then. How did you become an entrepreneur?
I've grown up with manufacturing around me. My dad had a big hardware distribution company back in Zimbabwe, one of the biggest plastic molding companies in Southern Africa. And so I grew up with manufacturing around me the whole time. I actually moved to Australia when I was 12. And we're doing some gardening, helping my dad, and he bought a whole lot of bags of mushroom compost from a farm. I helped him do some gardening, and all of a sudden all these mushrooms started growing in the garden. So I thought, well, this is pretty cool. So I picked them all and went around the streets, and they sold. So I went back to the mushroom farm the next weekend, and much to my parents' disgust, I purchased a whole lot of these mushroom compost bags and covered the underneath of our Queenslander in them, set up an irrigation system and all of that. So that's when I was 13, ran that for a couple of years and made some decent pocket money.
The entrepreneur is definitely in your blood.
I think so.
All right, well then tell me a bit more about your success. What does success mean for you? Can you define it for me?
Yeah, look, I think over the years it's probably changed, but I think success is ultimately having freedom, flexibility to do what you want to do when you want to do it.
So how long have you been a member of EO?
I've been a member for 5 years, so we were actually in the first EO Accelerator group that went through the Brisbane chapter. The extent of the global network and pool of contacts around the world. Just this year I've actually been communicating with and using quite a few EO members around the world, not being able to travel. I've been dealing with a contact in EO in Costa Rica, in South Africa, in Singapore, so all over. I think also just the traveling, wherever you go, you can meet up with like-minded people. Been to Israel, and I got in touch with the EO chapter there.
So in your EO journey, from all the lessons that you have learned, what are the transferable skills that you've applied to your business day to day?
Yeah, look, there's a lot. Being able to draw off experiences of people that have been in business for so many years, for me has allowed definitely allowed me to grow the business a lot faster than I probably would have.
So has EO changed your approach to business, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think definitely it has. The types of questions that you ask people in business and personally, being in forum has definitely allowed me to open up more, share more, which has actually definitely helped me grow, but also then allow me to bring that to my team. Asking the right questions from the start, and also the approach of asking those questions, not telling people what to do, but drawing from experiences and all of that, which I personally think is a skill that takes years to develop. I'm still learning in my forum.
How has EO contributed to your personal and professional life?
Yeah, I think it has in so many ways. Probably for me, just the people that I've met throughout the years in EO, like I mentioned earlier, around the world really. It's not just here in Brisbane. So many people that I've made friends with just at random events in Hyderabad at a university or wherever that is, and I think that to me is, you can't put a value on it.
Definitely. All right, so why is the EO membership a must-have for your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely, I must admit, when I first got into Forum, I did initially find it hard to share. It took a bit of time. It's a unique experience being in a forum, I think, and sort of being able to share within your forum is definitely a skill that takes a bit of time to develop. But I think for me, it's helped me grow just so much. It's hard to pinpoint where exactly, but I can just feel that I've changed a lot over the last 5 years and for the better.
Definitely, I can see that as well. Thanks so much for joining me today, Dan. Really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Happy to share, and yeah, thank you.
Thanks.